or what was it?
I think that it's like they fell off the mountain. It's like they climbed the mountain and then they fell off of it.
Economically, or in what way?
Everything that you ever worked for is not worth what it once was. And there was a time back in the 1970s you could live on $1 a day.
Yes.
There's no possible way you could do that now. Absolutely no possible way. So, economics has a lot to do with it. And economics is really what people affects them the most, because that's the closest issue to them. A lot of, you don't find the high principled people anymore.
Are they also disenchanted with politics?
Completely. I think they like neither side, really, of the political spectrum, because neither side has served their need.
So we are having policies constantly being made by corporations, really.
Yes.
And corporate lawyers are writing the laws. You do handle that in the book, right?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I have my own points of, because, what I think the solution is, actually. I have a chapter in there called Hard Choices, because that's kind of what it's all about. It's about hard choices. So I came up with 7 what I think are the solutions, to our problem. Number 1 is rewrite the 14th Amendment. That's the personhood amendment.
So what should be written there?
That only an individual person has rights.
Yeah, but now they already passed it in the Supreme Court that a corporation has rights now.
Well, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, because a corporation is not a person.
Yes.
You're a person.
I agree.
I'm a person.
I agree, yeah. Especially I'm from financial background, corporate background.
Yeah, so am I.
And I know that it should not be like that.
No, it should not be like that.
It could be an entity, but not equivalent to a human being.
No, should not have the same rights.
Yeah.
They should have rights,
but
there should not be the same rights that an individual has. That would be the
14th Amendment, okay? The 14th.
That would be the first thing. The second thing would be get the money out of politics completely.
Oh.
Completely and utterly.
That is something I hear all sensible people talking about, but the mainstream politics doesn't want to get rid of it.
Well, you've got a lot of money at stake here.
And there's more money there on that side than this side.
Yes.
Okay.
Completely and utterly. All airtime is free. There are no political contributions.
Yeah.
So because they're not going to be necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Because everything's going to be free. Third thing would be I'd make lobbying illegal. All the lobbyists go to jail if they show up on the Hill. They just go to jail.
But who's going to pass that? Because
no one's going to pass
if you look at the election results, it shows all the people that are going to maintain the things that you want to change. They don't want to change those. They've already put in a lot of money into making the laws the way they have it.
These are just the solutions.
So the people have to get involved in this, the individual citizen.
Yes.
All right.
These are just the solutions I came up with. I realized that no one's ever going to do this.
Okay, you finish, the next point?
The rich have to share with the poor. No more hoarding. They have to share their abundance. Now, I don't know how you're going to get them to do that.
The opposite is what has been happening in the last 25 years that I know of.
Yeah. If you look,
the employees are getting squeezed more and more to put in more hours and take lower pay or get pay cuts, while the other group keeps increasing their
I know.
stake and returns.
I have statistics in my book that I couldn't believe when I got these statistics, and a lot of the statistics came from organizations like the UN and the University of New York, and Caltech, And this is what they're coming up with.
But what I'm seeing from the election results is that it looks like all of these people don't know that they are being affected, or they are not affected by these laws and these changes in the government.
Do you mean the 99%?
The people that are voting and who have voted all these people in now, re-elected folks that should not have been re-elected.
It's beyond my understanding why you would vote against your economic interest. I don't understand.
But because they believe that it is in their economic interest.
It is.
Or in their whatever other interest. Maybe not economic, maybe something else, political.
I don't know. Not to get a raise is not in your economic interest, because I see very little of that happening, but I don't see any CEO that ever doesn't get a raise.
Yeah.
And so I wonder what they're thinking when they step into that voting booth. I just wonder what they're thinking. Thomas Frank, who was from the state of Kansas, wrote a book about what's the matter with Kansas. Mm-hmm. And I do mention it in my book. And he came to the same conclusion. He couldn't understand it either. Why would you vote against your own economic interests? It didn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense.
No, I think they don't make the connection, or they do not understand at all what is really happening. It's just ignorance.
I just don't get it.
On someone. And what's your next one?
Social Security is not an entitlement program. That's our money. Mm-hmm. We invested in Social Security. I guess you have to remind people that. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, but very true, I guess.
Yep. Then we have to remove power, position, patronage, and privilege from the operating model of government. And the country of Iceland did that very effectively about 5 years ago.
What did they do?
They threw the government out. The people got together and actually threw the government out. They fired their entire government. They put their bankers in jail.
And then who
and they survived.
Over?
They declared that they actually declared no one had any debt anymore. They made that declaration, and they got away with it, and they survived.
Well, I think in a smaller country such as Iceland, and with a more homogeneous population, such a thing might be possible.
Yep.
Over here, it's going to be harder.
Oh,
because there's a lot more money and more power involved. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to relinquish control. They're not.
But what about the American? Oh, I wanted to tell you, this book. This is so wonderful because looking at the title, I thought it'll be a whiny book, and not at all. It was not whining about anything. It was showing all the real things that happened and the way things are really in the facts. And so no one can dispute facts.
Nope. You can have a different opinion about the facts, but you can't dispute the facts.
Yeah. And the nice thing I'm finding also in your book is that not only do you point out the problems, but you also have these solutions that you just mentioned. So you're not just complaining about something, but you're saying, hey, we can fix it by doing these things.
We can fix it.
It's very interesting reading that way. I want to know about the folks that are disappointed, and what was the American dream 50 years ago, and what is considered the American dream today, and how did that old American dream die?
How did it started dying?
What was it? What was the American dream there?
Oh, the American dream? A job. It was the Protestant ethic. First of all, the Protestant ethic basically says, if I work hard and I'm honest and I'm forthright and I try to be as good as I can, which means essentially I observe the golden rule, I will succeed. I will succeed. Okay. And nothing can really stop me. The American dream is that everyone has the right to make a living, own property, have a family, have them be safe and secure in as much as is humanly possible.
So will most people feel that they're having all that now?
I think that that's exactly what they think is threatened.
I see.
I think it's we live in a world that where they're true or not is filled with terrorists. I find that hard to believe that the entire world is filled with terrorists. And I've always believed that one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
That's true.
If you were on their side, what would you think who the terrorist is? The terrorist is the person who actually threatens your life, the liberty and pursuit of happiness, I think. So you can make a case that the 1% to us are doing exactly that.
I see. Your book really comes across really nicely with the points. It's easy to read, and I think young generation should be reading it, the younger generations, so they can understand how things were before they were born and what's happening now. Because right now they think, oh, this is just normal, this is just how it is in politics. And it wasn't like that before, or was it like that before?
I wish that they would, but I don't have any control over what anybody thinks. I would like to affect that thinking, and I think that this book probably would. They probably would affect their thinking.
And what did you write about corporate? You just have a minute left. About corporations running the country, basically.
The corporations running the country is exactly, Tom Paine doesn't want that. Never would have wanted it. I think that it would be hard to blast them out, you know, at this point. It really would. I mean, you couldn't do it gently, because no one's going to walk away from that kind of money and that kind of power, are they?
No. Your book is a really well-written book, and I'm so glad I read it, and I think everybody should be reading this book. They should read it once, at least.
Well, thank you very much.
And I hope you come back again with more books to show us.
I'm working.
Thank you all for watching. That was Michael L. Kilday, the great author of Connecticut. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, goodbye.